Everyone, how are you all? Welcome to the class. Students, today we will start a new chapter, that is biological diversity. Here in this chapter, you will study about the basic classification, characteristics used in classifications and classification and evolution, hierarchy of classification, modern classification of organisms and five kingdom classifications, etc. So, students, you know that we all enjoy viewing wild animals and different type of birds. You want to see it. Okay, each organism is different, and then you know that now think of all the different forms in which life occurs on the earth. So what you will find, you know that there are various animals, so it is very hard to identify the characteristic features of each and everything, so that these organisms they are categorized. Okay, and for that there is a taxonomy. So taxa here, that is taxon, that means a group, plus nomos means name. So that animals are categorized into a specific group on the basis of their special characters which are similar. They are in a similar group. Okay, now classification is the process of grouping animals. So what is the classification? It is the process of grouping animals and plants according to their similarities and dissimilarities. Now students, that means that which are the similar, they will be in one class or phylum and order. Okay, now what is the basis of classifications? So you know, here is it is very important that the father of botany, that was Theophrastus, and the father of zoology, that was Aristotle. Okay, so what was the basis of the classification? You know that attempts the classifying living things in groups have been made since time immemorial. Aristotle and other scientists classified organisms on the basis of one or few characters. So that which having same characters, they were characterized in a particular group. Now students, so this process of classification within each group can then continue using new characteristics each time. And before discussing in details, let us consider here, we will understand that the meaning of characteristics. What is characteristics? So which is a particular form or particular function. So characteristics is a special, typical or noticeable feature of someone. Someone means any organism. That means that characteristics is the special feature of any organism. And suppose that man its specific feature, that is there is vertebral column, two pair of limbs, 5 digits, etc. are present there. So these are its characteristics. And some characteristics used for the classification, that are prokaryotic and eukaryotic. So you know that prokaryotic means primitive. So where primitive nucleus is there, that are prokaryotic cells, and in eukaryotic cells there are developed nucleus, so that is eukaryotic cells. Now unicellular and multicellular, these terms is also important for the classification. So where there is presence of only one cell, that is unicellular organism, and which having more number of cells, that are multicellular organisms. And one thing, that is mode of nutrition and levels of organization, that also help in classification. So what is levels of organization? You know that organisms show different levels of organization, like that cells organize from tissue and tissue, organs and organ system. So the animal which have only one cell, that is tissue cellular level, and another is tissue level. So such things, such characteristics, they helps to classify the animals and plants. So classification and evolution, here all organisms are classified on the basis of their body design and in form of the functions. So on the basis of their characteristics, they are classified. Okay, and what is the term of evolution? So you know the classification of life from here, classification. Students, what is the meaning of evolution actually? So you know that the offsprings of previous generation that are advanced from their mother cells. That means offsprings are more advanced, and that advancedness is called the evolution. Okay, so evolution literally means unfolding to reveal multiplications, and it means that the offspring of a species that modify themselves in accordance with the environmental conditions, and this feature is called the evolution. So when we connect this idea of evolution to the classification, we find some groups of here we will find some group of organisms which are similar there, so it helps into the classification. Okay, so here biodiversity, you know what is biodiversity? So actually biodiversity, it deals with the degree of nature's variety in the biosphere. Okay, in natural biodiversity can be observed at three levels: the genetic variability within a species, and the variety of species and within a community, and the organization of species in an area into distinctive plant and animal communities. Okay, so this one is the biodiversity. Students, you know that there are difference between all the animals and plants which are present there into the surrounding. So that is the biodiversity. That means bios means living being, how they are diverse. This one is the biodiversity. You know that there are different kind of plants and animals are present into the atmosphere here, there in your surrounding. So you will classify them. So hierarchy of classification of groups, this one is your last heading. Here next heading, so the hierarchy of classification you will discuss in next video. Till then, thank you everyone.